Nadeem confronting Fisk, because I think that's like going to be kind of important for us here. And he has this great speech where Nadeem, listen, I was so cold on Nadeem. I was thinking, I don't know about this, man. Like, I remember not liking him. This dude is my favorite character. He has such a he is irascible. He cannot stop lying to his family to protect them. He cannot stop needing to feel important. This dude, I love this dude. He's fantastic. And he barges in on Fisk in bed, and Fisk gets back up in bed just in time down from his secret lab. And Nadeem has this little brilliant monologue, which I may well play in full. Who knows? And Nadeem says, quote, "You know, you remind me of someone I knew growing up. Jack Cannon. But everyone knew him as Jiggy. Now, Jiggy lived in a two-family house
all by himself. Now, it's practically a mansion to me. But Jiggy was a helper, too. He was always helping out folks on the block. Yeah, Annie, the single mom, needs a new car. Jiggy's got it. The Hoffmans are desperate for rent. 10-year-old me thought this guy was a hero. But it turned out Jiggy had hidden 10 kilos of heroin in the trunk of Annie's sedan. Another 5 in the Hoffman baby's room. Guess who the cops arrested when they tracked down that powder? I've seen your kind of help before.
Oh, just like coming in with that fucking pathos. But like, you just like Nadeem in this moment has Fisk's number in a big way, but he has no proof. He has nothing he can pin on him. And then Fisk retorts with this brilliant, like, because Fisk is so good at reading people, he realizes that Nadeem's pride is such an important thing for him. So Fisk's retort is, "Your desperation diminishes you, special agent." And it's this like beautiful moment where Nadeem is trying to lay out this kind of track to go, I know what you're up to. I've got your number. I know I can't prove it, but I know something is happening. And Fisk's retaliation is like, this shit makes you ugly, man. Dealing with this makes you ugly. You look so little to me. And that's exactly the thing he needs to play, because it drives Nadeem into further desperation.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. I I like that speech, good. Like the story. Yeah, it is just good.
No, it's just good, actually. Other stuff happens. We've already talked about Karen calling home. And yeah, I've already said that I think Nadeem is the best part of the season to me for some reason. This just dawned on me. And also I like that he's just a normal dude whose life is perpetually falling apart. It's great. And the way this ends is, oh, it's so heartbreaking. So Nadeem goes home for the first time in forever. And his family are throwing him a work promotion party. Which we, not knowing where this goes, can probably intuit this is some cruel, dramatic irony. That they are celebrating the fact that he got this promotion. And he goes into the basement to the second fridge, and that's where Daredevil confronts him and is like, it was someone in the FBI. And he drops that bomb. And I like that Nadeem tries to have one fucking night of his life back. And he can't have it. He just can't have it.
Yeah. Well, it's his own damn fault, is the thing. Man. Like,
yeah.
That's why it's so compelling, because like you do feel sorry for him, but at the same time it's like, yeah, man, like this is your mess, you know. You had all this coming to you, like
at every opportunity he could make a different decision, and he just never does. Like it's like, just let someone else head up the team. It's fine. Like, and Nadeem just cannot, and this does not, foregrounding next episode, does not break well for him, I will say. He gets himself into further distress here, but I really like the kind of accentuation of, it doesn't matter, like, you know, Nadeem's hands, like, he will never be clean of any of this. There is a real sense of, like, I don't think there's a way out for him. And I don't necessarily remember his precise fate, but in this episode, at the end of this episode, I was like, oh, like this is infecting everything for him, right? He can't even go home. He can't even go home, and that to me is the real sign that you've nailed your characterization. Is he's too deep.
I'm trying to think of a parallel to like another cop character from like another movie or something, but
I mean Jim Gordon, right, in Nolan's trilogy.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad comparison. Yeah, because like his character at the same time of feeling familiar, it's still maybe it's like the actor who plays him, but it's such a unique circumstance that his character is in right now, like a cop is in specifically.
I think it's because his decisions are they are born from these noble things that he's done for the people around him, but they're also obligations.
Yeah.
Where like
do you know what I mean? I think the fact that he's not a corrupt cop is like a big he's not only is he not corrupt, he's not like a noir, like a Big Sleep kind of jaded cop either. Like he is just like a sort of bushy-tailed moral guy. and then he's forced to compromise himself because of like because of circumstances. But yeah, it's really unique.
I think a big part of it is like that the compromises he makes are for the right reasons, but the decisions that he makes largely out of guilt, I feel like most of the time. Where like there's an aspect to him where like his wife is always on his case because she knows like he's not doing this because he's a good guy. He's doing it because he feels like he has to. And I think that delineation is what makes it work. Is that yes, he's like a bushy-tailed guy with like, morals that he doesn't have any scruples yet, insofar as like his willingness to cross any lines. But also maybe that's the problem. Is that like maybe the problem is that he's not willing to cross any lines to make things less bad for him and his family. And I think that's where a lot of the tension is like he doesn't have to cross lines to do the wrong thing, but he never crosses lines to do the right thing either. And I think there's a way in which his wife and her kind of position in the story puts pressure on him as a character to be like, if you wanted to, you're in charge of this investigation. You could come home if you wanted to tonight, but you keep choosing not to. Like you got a promotion. You're in charge of this thing. And there's a way in which his pride or however you want to read whatever the character flaw is that you think Nadeem has. And perhaps it's just, for me, I think what makes him so compelling is we talked earlier about this kind of, he feels like a caged rat. He's got this like sort of cornered rat syndrome within the structures of capitalism. It feels like what happens is the second you get any freedom, you go, well, I have to grab on and not fucking let go because this could disappear any second. And it's that desperation percolates outwards and means that he reaches too far when he doesn't need to. I think that's his big tragedy, is that he's been so trapped for so long that he can't recognize the small freedoms when he has them. And that's what makes him the kind of tragic version of, say, like a Jim Gordon or something like that. That's what makes him more interesting to me. That's why I think he's the best, one of the best parts of the season. Is none of that is said out loud. When he gets home to the party, they started digging the fucking hole for the pool that he definitely can't afford. That's right. You know what I mean? He just can't say no in a way that he's such a victim of both the system and of himself. And that to me is why he's so compelling.
And like that beat of being in dangerous situations because you're a cop.